What's going on, team? How we doing out there? I'm back into the chair and it's not looking good. Let's just say we thought that maybe things could get a little bit better, and I can't blame. We were talking about it on pre-market prep. Dennis Dick was thinking maybe we'd get the tech bounce. To tell you the truth, I wasn't thinking that too much. He kind of like leaned me over, and I also made the mistake of thinking that at that point, yeah, tech could rally, right? Tech can rally here, right? We're oversold. We're bound for a bounce at least, right? Well, bull traps out the open, that's for sure. Let's take a look here at the SPY. You guys can see how we came up right towards the open and then boom, right back down. And every time we come back, what are we doing? We're seeing hard hits to the downside. This is not looking good. So even when we come back up towards this 416, smack down right back down towards the 412s, guys. And this is the 61.8% retracement level. I was trying to talk about this this morning, but we didn't get to it. And this is the last level. The last level that the SPY can go ahead and bounce off of for it to make sense on retracements. After this level, the 410 level, after that point, it's no longer a retracement. It starts to become what? A negating of the recent trend. So all this trend here would go ahead and then get negated. And so at that point, I don't think we're going to get, we might go all the way back down to 380s if we can't stop here at the 410 spot. So not looking good there. Let's take a look at the Qs. Qs making another leg lower and not stopping. And I thought, hey, we're back towards this kind of 200-day moving average. We're definitely getting oversold, and we are oversold. Are we at extremes? Not just yet. I mean, you guys can see, and I always like to refer to historical reference on RSI, and you guys see the RSI at the bottom. That's the purple line there. And what I usually do is I put like a bar on the top where I see the spikes turn around, right? Where I see where I can hit multiple levels, but at the same time see when it turns around. Right now, we could still go lower. I know that it may seem like the Qs are oversold, and they kind of are, but they're not at that extreme level yet. That's going to be below the 20 towards the 19, anywhere in that range. Then we can maybe find the bounce. Today, trying to step up to the plate a little bit too early and got hit for it. I went after TQQQ multiple times and took the pain. And now isn't looking too good. One that I was able to make a gain today was XRT. We can talk a little bit about some retail names to see if we could get some seasonality to go higher. But let's talk about what you guys want to take a look at. Let me know what was your best trade today. We'll get into the sectors and industry analysis, but definitely not a good one. They crushed Crow on ABVC. Very memorable day. Record loss on day trading. Crow. Hey, Crow. I didn't have the best day either, man. And I remember having a record loss on a day trade. The only thing that I realized is that I needed to take a little bit of a break and then realize that I'd never make that mistake again. Let's go ahead and learn from this. I know it might seem very hard, especially on a day that you have a record loss, but get through it, my friend. And don't forget that we are here for you. You can always hang out with us, especially the live trading stream. And right here, Start Swing Trade. We'll support you, man. And like always, you can take a little break and kind of enjoy the action for a little while. I think that also helps, right? Just taking a little bit of a pause is so fortunate for us traders, especially when we don't have to make the money to, like, put it this way. If you don't rely on trading for all your income and it doesn't put the bread on the table, well, then you can take pauses in trading and get back to what you know, man. I know you'll bounce back. And like always, the key here is, what can I truly learn that I won't make the mistake the next time? All right, let's keep going, guys. We'll see what else is going out there. And don't worry, for like this XRT trade, like I got in at a really good entry, 58.15. As it came back here towards the 58.35s, I got stopped out. But I mean, I would have got stopped out right here too. So it wasn't like I got the full gain either. It wasn't the best day. Even on an XRT trade where I was doing well, the market started to pull back. and then ended up giving me not what I was looking for, which was the move slightly above 59 going towards the high here. And I was looking to see if we were going to make our way back towards like 59.17. Missed 59 and took the hit for it. But let's keep going, guys. Let's take a look at the sectors and the industries. We'll go through these. Of course, leading the day back towards the upside is real estate. And I think this is kind of more of just your average bounce back after really getting plummeted lately. Take a look at American Tower Corp. I think they did report earnings today, but look at that. That's been in its own little bear market, right? And so at this point, it is a nice little oversold rally, but this wasn't oversold before in the daily, right? It wasn't oversold, and it was oversold when it was down at 155, not where it was recently. So this does give it a bounce, and we could start seeing these stocks continuing to bounce. So keep your eyes on these. We'll see what happens on them, see if they can really kind of get going here. Financial services getting a little bit of a relief rally. That's the way I'll call this, because I don't think this is a rally by any means. Take a look at the XLF. It's pretty much ending sideways. So at this point, I think this is kind of like as best as it gets right now. Take a look at JPM. JPM was going lower earlier in the day and now starting to retrace right back down. These banks don't look good. And you guys know I've been calling all about the KRE for how long now? Well, today I think it's an excellent opportunity to get an opportunity to maybe even go short here on the KRE. I'll tell you guys right now, I've been trying to stay away from shorting the banks out there just because I put out my video on the regional bank. I know that you guys probably already kind of watched that. Let me know in the chat if you have watched it. Here's the kind of the thumbnail. But with that being said, I've been trying to stay away from shorting the banks as I put this video out, because I don't want you guys to think that I'm trying to cherry pick here. But this 40 spot looks prime to get shorted into. We'll see what happens on these. And of course, stocks that like kind of were mentioned in that video. I won't give you all of them, but Ozark was another one. And I was watching this one today as another opportunity. But I won't get into all that conversation. You guys can catch that video, of course. Let's go to utilities. Utilities also getting a little bit of a bounce back. This is an area that I eventually think will take a hit. It has been bouncing back, and it took a really hard downturn, but you're getting back here now towards resistance. And at some point, I'm expecting to start seeing these kind of XLU moves turn right back to the downside. So we'll see what happens there. Of course, that's in utilities. Communication services today getting a little bit of a bounce back in like T-Mobile. T-Mobile had some pretty decent earnings. I think this company just continues kicking it out of the water. They've been doing really good, guys, and Verizon also getting the lift right now. So these don't look too bad. AT&T is the one that I would say, I'm not going touching that. Charter getting a little bit of a bounce, but this doesn't look good either. And Comcast got hit hard on their earnings. Look at that, guys. We were looking at it. It had a nice little flag pattern, and look at that, how that flag pattern just got ruined today. Smackdown right there. So I had put this box. If it was back there towards 47, it was playable, but we saw the actual opposite here, a downside breakdown. All right, let's keep going. In energy today, you got some bounces, but it wasn't very short. It wasn't long-lived there. Look at Chevron, now down to 154. Man, glad I got rid of that, because this looks like it's starting to break the XLE trade. And so now I would say I'm going to be looking for pops in XLE to potentially maybe even go short, because now we're starting to approach kind of this upward trend. And if we could break this upward trend going, like, let's say below 85s towards 82, we're going to be starting to see this as a topping action. And a lot of the times when you see this kind of turnaround from the top, that just goes to show us that, yeah, that's a little bit of a turnaround from these levels. We'll see if it starts to break a move to 80 and this chart starts looking ugly. All right, let's keep going. I'm trying to roll with it today. It's 3:44. So you guys out there, smash the like. Basic materials. I've been talking about how this is not my area that I've been seeing the best moves, but I did try to take some gold, and I did make a small swing trade, guys, on AU, and ended up stopping me out in the green. But that was when it pulled back down towards this 1894. I got a small green on this today. Maybe should have just gave it the kind of the break even stop out. Probably getting a little bit scared out of this position just because I was having a rough day. But I took the gains off, and it wasn't a losing trade. It was a gain, but nowhere near what I was looking for. I was looking for a move like up to 20. So I'll see what happens on gold. Gold did make a pullback today, and it didn't help when I looked around that I didn't see many gold names up. NEM was one of those. So that one's not too bad. But if you look here, you had AEM down big, RGLD big, and it's just hard to kind of catch that move. Now, you did get chemicals to bounce back a little bit today. Paper and steel having a decent day. Of course, Nucor and Cleveland Cliff recently reporting. Those have not been doing too bad, but I don't believe too much in this steel trade. I feel like it's just getting a little bit of a bounce back and probably gets shorted into. We'll see what happens on there. Industrials have been going lower and lower and lower. This does not look good at all for these names. UPS down 3% today. Even the GE, I think, is finally going to start letting go. It had really good earnings and was trying to make its way back, and now it's starting to get hit. And when we see these defensive names, that's when you got to really start being careful, because if Lockheed Martin starts to head down, which has been one of the few ones that have been driving this price action back, of course, NOC is another one. And if they start to let go, these defensive names, yeah, we're going to start seeing XLI take another leg lower. So right now, this does not look good, and a hard turnaround in XLI. I mean, what looks good here? There's not much out there, guys. Healthcare also continuing the way down. I was thinking, okay, so healthcare is definitely oversold, and some of these are oversold. Will we get the lift today? Well, you got some lift in diagnostics and research, but other than that, biotechs, another leg down there. Drug manufacturers, the big boys, these are the areas where I'm seeing the most hit. Lilly taking a big hit. Johnson & Johnson. Merck had earnings today. It's back to 106. Probably one of the rare one of the bunch that is up. Pfizer also up, but AbbVie going down, AZN going down, Bristol Myers. Man, this company, I don't know how anybody holds this as an investment. It tried to pop off the earnings, got up there to 58, 54, but what a gift that was that it went straight back down to 53.42 and opened up the day at 55.31s, and it's right back towards the lows. This is not a company I don't want to touch. I'll tell you one thing. Even if you guys bought it for me, I'd hit the sell button really quick. Doesn't look good there in Bristol Myers, and healthcare overall not looking good overall. Let's take a look at that. That's XLV. Look how this has been going down pretty fast, guys. I'm glad I talked about this on Monday, especially on pre-market prep. I started seeing that, hey, if we go through that 125 range, then it's going to really start looking ugly. And that's exactly what I'm seeing right now. All right, let's keep moving, team. We'll get out of healthcare. We'll go to the defensive area in the market, consumer defensives. And you guys can see me working from what? Backwards, right? From sectors to industry to stocks. If you guys have anything that you want to check out, keep throwing them up in the chat. I'll try to catch it. Are you going to be covering Amazon earnings? Jake is asking there. No, I will not be staying after the bell. But if you want to keep up with all the earnings and you want to stay with the earnings report, you guys can definitely catch that right here on Benzinga. We'll have the earnings report. But the truth is, when you see earnings move off of that reaction, it's just reaction. It's very hard to trade. So I'd be a little bit careful with trying to trade those types of moves, Jake. I don't know if you're just trying to cover and get coverage on Amazon or if you're trying to trade it. I know definitely I won't be trading it after the bell. That'd give me a little bit of a heart attack. Gerald, is there a list of those sectors you always show? How do I see those? Webull doesn't show any of those ticker symbols. Correct, Gerald. This is the reason why I go after and I use my TC2000 charting. So what you're seeing here in those SX50s, those are indexes that TC2000 has made. Right? So these other platforms would have to essentially make the indexes of where each stock is in what sector and industry so that you can go ahead and look at this. You can do a little bit more research on this, right? You can look at sectors and industries there. But what it's very hard to do is to find something that has it that easy. That's why you guys see me use it and working backwards here, where I can really get an understanding of the market, what industries are moving, what sectors are, and then get to the stocks. Money Mitch, you have no gray hairs. How'd you pull that one off? Oh man, what can I say, dude? No gray hairs, bro. I hope it stays that way. Let's just say that much. All right, let's keep going, team. We'll see what else. And yeah, it is super helpful, Gerald. So like always, you guys can catch it right here on Start Swing Trade. That's why I give and I use this, guys. I pay for this. I will tell you guys right now. It's not cheap. It's like I pay like, like 60 bucks, 50 bucks a month. But as you guys can see, this is definitely useful. Why doesn't Benzinga Pro have them? You know what, David? I have been battling on that too. I've been trying to get this in Benzinga Pro. You can make certain sector like watch lists, and you can search by sectors. We haven't been able to get them into index build. I've been pushing and pushing for a team. So you guys out there, you guys can push for it too. Just take a screenshot right now. Send it to Benzinga. You guys can send it to show@Benzinga, or even send it to the man himself at Jason Raznick. Get this on Benzinga Pro. Trust me, I'm battling for it. You guys got to battle for it too. It's not as easy to make as some. And so that's why I use it, guys. And there's a reason I pay for it too. All right, let's keep going. Sorry to take a little bit of time off of that, but this is really helpful, guys, because the truth is that as you start to catch kind of industry-wide moves, you'll be able to catch the rotation, which is so important. Brewers getting a little bit of a lift, and I might need some Brewers after today, guys. I might need some Molson Core. Give me a little bit of some beer action after a day like today, but this has been pulling back. FMX getting a little bit of a lift as of late, but not really an area that I'm going to be looking for. Sam is pulling back from the open, so not much there. Of course, it was led by that FMX move. Farm products doing not too bad as of lately. They've been just kind of getting a little bit of a bounce. I think these are just oversold bounces. Defensive area was still in the red today. What got hit hard today? Well, defensive stores started to turn around. Walmart pulled right back down. Costco looking like it's getting a little bit weaker. And the day started with Ollie staying strong, but look at that, guys. Now it's starting to get back up. There's some of these that I would keep my eye open. DG has been really starting to make its way back. This one actually made a nice little VWAP bounce. I know that you guys like to look at like strategy sometimes. Well, take a look at this VWAP bounce on DG. Well, this is an exact strategy that I look for all the time. A nice breakout above resistance. Boom, that's the resistance in the pre-market, right? It breaks out above. What you want to be following is the orange line for it to come back and try to buy it off that orange line. And you can see right here, a nice opportunity into the 120s. And you even get a dip below this where it went down towards 119.76. And then look at the recovery. Boom, nice little recovery there towards 122. That's called the VWAP bounce. Hope you guys enjoy that outlook. All right, let's see what else is out there, team. And DG definitely not doing too bad as of late. I mean, this stock was really pounded down and has made kind of a rounding bottom here. We'll look to see if it sets up for like kind of a cup and handle style trade where it makes that cup and then now the handle's starting to come back up. We'll see if it can make its way up there towards the next levels. Can it go to 127? Before then, it might stop around this 123, but somewhere in that space, I could see it running to. We'll see what happens there. Cyclicals, of course, pulling back, and cyclicals move when the market moves. A lot of the times, they're the high beta names. What does that mean? That they have volatility when the market volatility expands. These expand also. So be careful on action when you're looking into the cyclicals because it's pretty fast on these moves. Take a look at another leg lower on Tesla. I know that a lot of people were kidding me on my outlook and my bearish outlook when it was in the 250s, but now it's down to 205. And a lot of this based on what Elon said in the earnings. That's exactly what I gave before Tesla's earnings came out was what? That the cars would start being expensive and at high interest rates, demand would go down. That's exactly what Elon gave you. And ever since then, Tesla coming down. And I don't think it helps in this space that, that these labor deals are actually going through and they're getting the raises. That's actually going to hurt Tesla in the long run because let's just be honest. I know Tesla doesn't have kind of those unions right now, but in the long run, don't you think Tesla's workers are going to want more too? I mean, even working for Elon at some time, at some point, they're going to ask for a little bit more if they see others getting paid more. All right, we'll see what happens on Tesla. Amazon, of course, reporting tonight. And man, this thing has been beaten up. So maybe it's lowered the bar just far enough to get the big move back to the upside. We'll see what happens on Amazon tonight. Of course, a lot of to report tonight. Let's go to that calendar. What stock is on your radar? Throw it up in the chat right now. We'll take a look before the bell rings. IBM, Intel, Amazon, Vale, Chipotle. Who's getting their Chipotle? Get your burrito now, man, before they take it from you. And Ford will report tonight. That might actually get a little lift. We'll see. I think it might be a little short-lived pop, but we'll find out there. Let's take a look at Intel. Intel was one that I wanted to keep an eye out for. And Intel not going anywhere right now. Let's see what happens here towards the end. And of course, if this one takes a hit, man, it's not going to be looking good in tech. It's already been dropping off, and it had its attempt 1, 2, 3, 4 times. This was a big attempt right here towards 37 that it failed. And ever since then, look how quickly it's dropped off. Something needs to change if it wants to make that move to the upside. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. What are you guys looking at? Some Chipotle? Who likes their Chipotle? And if you're a Chipotle fan, let me know, guys. Do you guys get the dressing on the side? That's the good stuff, man. All right, let's take a look there. CMG here, the Chipotle. Oh, man, this looks like it's setting up for a short, but I would have to lose my head to short CMG just because it's so expensive, man. Ooh, this one's a hard one. And they beat a lot of the times on earnings. So that's the hard part, right? How can I look that up? Well, you need Benzinga Pro for that, right? TC is not going to help me there. So I always have my Benzinga Pro available, team. So don't think that it's not like I use Benzinga Pro. It's just I got multiple screens. Charting, I like my charting. Now, everything else on Benzinga Pro, I absolutely love. And that's why I use it every day. I use it a lot of the times, just not for charting. Because to me, like this is the chart, right? It's not as pretty as my TC 2000. Can I use it? I could. But what I'm really looking at is things like this. Let's go towards the details. Let's go right here and let's see CMG. And now we're going to show you guys how to use Benzinga Pro. So you go to the calendar, you go to the earnings, right? And what do I see here? Okay, let's see the last couple of reports and what has happened. In the last couple of reports, right? What has happened? There's a lot of beats there. There's very few losses, right? Very few red there. And you guys can see it. I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see it a little better, but there's very few. I only see 2 quarters red out of what? It seems like kind of like 20 quarters. So that tells me that we got to be careful a little bit betting to the downside on Chipotle. We'll see what happens if he'll get their guac or not. All right, Tesla workers are not union though. Agreed. And that doesn't mean that they can't eventually form a union, right? We'll find out. SoFi next week. Interesting one to keep an eye out for, Bug. But definitely, let's see what else is on the list here. We got Ford, of course. Let's see how Ford traded today. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look there. Ford here. It's traded right back down, even though it had the deal. We'll look to see if this actually helps them bounce back, though. I think with a really good earnings report, maybe we get back there towards 12.25. But is this anything I want to buy? No, by any means necessary. One thing that I'm going to be looking into, and guys, stay tuned because, of course, I'm going to be doing more deep dives like I did, of course, on my regional banking video. The next video that I'm working on right now, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinion in the chat if I should go ahead and come after it and take a look, of course, is the auto manufacturers and the EV story. How long will it take to be transitory into that EV story? We'll find out, right? Ford right now, it doesn't look pretty, guys. And the same thing goes for like a lot of the lithium names. It doesn't look pretty. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's keep going, team. It's 3:59. We're about to wrap up here. Let's go to the SPY. As you guys can see, we're heading on the downside. That usually spooks some people before the earnings comes in. Let's see if Amazon gets a quick spike here. out the gates. Of course, I could look at Benzinga Pro to kind of get you guys those Amazon numbers as they come in. I don't mind sticking around for just a couple of seconds after the bell, but you know what I need to see, guys? I need to see at least some likes out there, guys. So hit some likes. Let's see if we can get it up there towards like 30 or 40 likes here. I see 65 of you guys out there right now. Come on, hit those likes, team. All right, let's see if Amazon's going to get the lift here right out the gates, or will they wait to report? Sometimes they wait to report. Let's see if it comes in right off the back here. I'm looking for it, team. So I'll let you guys know as soon as that news comes in here. Of course, I'm seeing a little bit. It's getting wide there. And what I mean by wide, do you guys see how the light blue line represents here the ask and the bid? It went wide right there. It went like 119.50 by all the way up there to 120s. And you see how it expands there? That's why I don't trade after hours. Some people ask me, why don't you trade after hours? Because moments like that, where the bid was 119.50 and the offer was 120, that is way too wide for me to be trading Amazon. That would give me a heart attack. Look at that move right there. That was a crazy wick to the upside. And then all of a sudden back down. Look how spready it is now. 120.30 by 119.50s. That is very hard to deal with. And you can see it here. And I can go even towards the 1 minute so you guys can see how fast this is moving. This is the reason why I don't trade earnings, guys. And the first time, sometimes that wick could be a trick. Now you see it kind of really get that quick jump up there. Did you see how the bid went up there to 124.78, but then the bid comes all the way back down to 122s? That's easily how you can go ahead and get stopped out. And it's a hard move here. And that's why you can't use stops in after hours and in pre-market, because the truth is this action a lot of the times would just bang you out and then go right back up. So we'll see what happens here. Earnings are out here. They did announce earnings. I don't have the numbers just yet. I'm trying to pull them up here. So let me see if I can get them for you guys. Here we go. I got revenues on Amazon at 143.1 billion versus 141.42 billion estimate. Let's see if we get that next move up on Amazon. Looking to see the EPS here. If I could get that, I'll let you guys know as soon as it hits the tape here. AWS sales, I have at 23.1 billion, but don't have an estimate to try to help you guys on that. I'm seeing these numbers hit as they happen. So if you want to check that out, of course, go to pro.benzinga.com. Get your 2-week trial today. Let them know, of course, Money Mitch sent you. Amazon trying to make the lift. We'll see if this can continue pushing higher. That will help the Qs finally bounce back a little bit. EPS here at 94 cents. So now I'm going to go to the calendar to kind of give the comparison here. 94 cents here today. That's a pretty big beat on EPS there. The EPS, I had 94 cents. I had 58 cents the estimate. That's going to help Amazon. And another stock that could lift off of this move is what? Is Shop. Look how this moves on Amazon's report. This is why it's so important to understand your relationships. And like we were talking earlier about sectors and industries and knowing your relationships. I know that Amazon moves and moves Shop all the time. Do you see how Shop is getting wide right now? Because they're trying to lift Amazon. They're trying to lift Shop also. And if Amazon lifts sometimes, you'll sometimes see other names get a little bit of a hit. But look at that lift in Amazon back towards 126. Pretty good gain there. Good earnings coming in here. And of course, if you guys want to keep up with all those earnings, you guys can keep up with it on Benzinga Pro. Smash the like if you guys enjoy me staying a little bit extra here, looking into the Amazon report. And it's still looking pretty good here. Let's go to the daily levels to see where we can slow up a little bit. So one area that I'd be looking for us to get towards is 130. If we can close anywhere above 130s, oh man, this chart actually starts flipping around. So we'll see what happens here. If it can't get through kind of this high over here, especially this 126 area, it could just be a little bit of a trap. We'll find out. It's hitting that 126 right now. Do you see how it turned back around right off of that level? There's a reason why, guys. You got to know your levels, and there's levels to this game. All right, catch me tomorrow morning on Pre-Market Prep. And if you haven't checked out, of course, my regional banking crisis video, then you're missing out, team. If you don't want to be in the unknown, the clock is ticking. So definitely check out that video. I will see you guys a little bit later today. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight. Are you guys interested in a trading competition? Check it out, guys. I am putting out, of course, I've been getting into a trading competition for Trade the Pool, and I want you guys to go ahead and get after it. If you guys haven't done so already, and you guys are looking for something fun to kind of join in, maybe you get a nice prize, because I mean, we're all looking for a little bit of a prize, especially in this market. I'm going to throw up here the link. You guys check it out. I don't trust Jerome Powell. Neither do I, Buglog. Neither do I. Who trusts this guy? Come on, man. Look at that face. You trust that guy? Well, I don't know, man. I don't trust them one bit. What happened to transitory? I don't see anything transitory about inflation. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Definitely smash the like. I'm glad you guys enjoyed me staying a little bit extra. And I could stay a little bit more. To tell you the truth, guys, the big important thing to do is now you see the reaction, right? How does that change the market tomorrow? Don't miss it, team. Smash the like. He has a speech tomorrow. Don't worry about it. I don't think it'll be anything big. Remember, a lot of times when the Fed have speeches, if it's not just on the economy, if it's like at like some school or just a kind of an opening remark, well, don't expect them to give too much. They're not going to give too much there, because the truth is that's not what they're not intending to take over the event. At least we can hope. Smash the like, guys. We'll see you guys bright and early on pre-market prep. And like always, if you want to keep up with the earnings, just got to go to Benzinga Pro, guys. I'll give you guys the link, of course. If you guys haven't already signed up for Benzinga Pro, sign up today, guys. There's the link. I'll see you guys next time. Smash it up and keep working towards your trading success.